Hello and welcome back to Legacy of Leaders, where we interview the brightest and most interesting leaders making an impact in our community. And today is no different. I'm your host, Whitney Mincey, joined by very special guest, Mr. Victor Barousse from City for the Nations. Welcome.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So your organization, I'm just so excited to have you talk about it. It's such a great cause. So please tell us a little bit about City for the Nations.
Sure. So City for the Nations was launched actually in the great metropolis of Lexington, Kentucky. They saw a desire to do more to see the Great Commission fulfilled. Jesus gave a great commission to the church before he ascended into heaven, and that was to go and make disciples of all nations. And so we've not finished that task yet, but we're getting close. And so they partnered with a nation called Nepal. They're seeing tremendous outpouring of the Spirit of God and new churches planted. And I heard about this, was actually challenged to be a part of that. And so we formed a team here in Jacksonville, First Coast, and we prayed and sought the Lord and felt like God was telling us Thailand is the adopted country. And so it's Jacksonville, the city of Jacksonville, the church of Jacksonville, marketplace leaders, intercessors, partnering together to see all of Thailand reach with the gospel.
That's incredible. So how did you get involved with this organization?
Yeah, so as a missionary with Go to Nations, which is based here in Jacksonville, we were field missionaries. We planted churches in Siberia for years. After our second deportation, unfortunately, we had a choice to make, and one of those was to come back to our headquarters here. And so my wife and I started a member care, pastoral care department for our missionaries, and I always thought we'd be going back out in the field. But I was invited to a meeting in a conference room, and I thought it was just to take up, space in a room. It's like, oh no, I've got work to do. But I came down, walked in the door, and when I walked out, that my life was changed because I heard this vision, and I realized this was something that the Lord wanted me to do.
Yeah, that's just incredible. So you've brought us some great information here today, but for those that are not here to read through all of this, how can they support the organization? How can they get involved?
Yeah, so we really have three different areas, and so the first is prayer intercession, right? Nothing happens in the kingdom without prayer. And so our goal, we call it UPM 1000, that stands for Unreached Prayer Movement, and we want to see 1,000 intercessors out of the First Coast who will agree simply for 30 minutes a week to pray for the country of Thailand, to pray that all the people in Thailand would hear. By the way, there are 70...
Not very long. You can afford that, right?
Yeah, 30 minutes, about 4.5 minutes a day. You can do that in your daily commute, Or you can set up a calendar time when people sign up. There's an opportunity. I'm going to pray for Friday morning at 30 minutes, and you'll get an email reminder the night before, for example. So any way people want to do it, we want to get people praying. Thailand has 70 million people, 62 million who have never heard the gospel of Jesus Christ. They wouldn't know if he's, does he live in Bangkok? Or who is this guy, right?
Yeah.
And so in this mandate Jesus gave us, all the nations, all the ethno-linguistic groups need to hear the gospel. And Revelations 7:9 says, before the throne of God, there's going to be people from every tribe, tongue, and nation and people. And so for that day to come, we've got the church, we've got to do our job. And so prayer is the first one. Secondly, there are specific projects. We have project partners over there that are on the front lines. We're getting ready to train and release 70, we believe up to 70 church planting teams to go into regions where there are no churches. There are 70,000 communities with no church. Can you imagine that? Between my house and here, I pass by a lot of churches, right? Imagine whole cities, villages, communities, zip code areas with no church at all. And so we're getting ready to train these teams. That takes funding for training, for coaching, and for sending. And so there's specific projects financially. And then the last thing is to actually go and see firsthand. And so a church team or individuals can go with us to take part, to see, and to help out.
Wow. And so what's coming up in 2024? I'm sure you guys have some big goals that you're trying to reach, and lots of ways for people to get involved in that as well. Right,
yeah. So we launched in 2021, and we have 5 pilot projects where we've seen about 14,000 people hear the gospel and about 400 new churches planted. And so it's pretty exciting what's happened in a couple of years. With these 70 new church planters, we really want to expand that, church planting teams nationwide. in every region of the country. And so we're going to have some mobilization events, if we want to call them, fundraising events.
Of course.
Getting the vision out, letting people know. And so we're going to have one in each county sometime in the first or second quarter of this year. So people can come to that. They can hear firsthand. But please, we'd love them to pray. Start by going to the website, cityforthenations.com. Scroll down to the page, find Thailand, First Coast Thailand, and then there'll be a place to pray. And all we need is your name and your email address. You'll get 2 bulletins a month that will tell you this is what's happening. You'll hear about some in-person prayer meetings and Zoom prayer meetings if you want to join us. Otherwise, on your own, just pray for Thailand.
Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely incredible what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And if you want to learn more about City for the Nations, make sure you go to dailynewsnetwork.com. All of their information will be there, and you can find out how you can get involved and take advantage of the amazing impact that they are all having on the world. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
We will see you next time on Legacy of Leaders.